Morning, welcome to my Tire Side Chat. It's May 22nd, 2025. Bitcoin's at a new all-time high. Last I checked this morning, it was at 111,200, something like that. Pretty incredible, surreal. I want to say I can't believe this is happening, but also, I mean, from the beginning of the week and really just this past couple of weeks, I'm not surprised. Pardon me, I'm going to have my breakfast here while I'm making this video and driving to work, as I do. I just figured out that I don't think it used to let me do this, but my iPhone here is allowing me to play music through my Bluetooth and my car stereo while I record a video with the camera. Having my usual breakfast. Well, this is like the second part of my breakfast. Today I had a banana, and I've been doing a protein shake. I got into that a few months ago. Costco, they have these NutriBullets. It's like 2 of them for $60, which I don't really need 2, but it's nice to have a backup. I keep the other one charged in case the batteries in one of them dies, and then I put that on the charger and grab the other one. But I do a protein shake. With protein, I use almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, because I'm trying to avoid sugars. Then I do microgreens that I get at the farmer's market every week. Spinach, or kale, hemp seeds, ginger. I get like the frozen ginger at Trader Joe's. Little cubes. You just put cubes of it in there. Little garlic, which, yeah, they have frozen garlic too. The cubes. You do 1 cube, man, that stuff is strong. You can smell it across the room. And then I have to brush my teeth afterwards. What else do I put in there? Oh, collagen, and sometimes frozen berries, and then I do frozen peas. I love frozen peas. It's a good source of protein too, which I'm trying to keep my protein up. And then after I do that, I do this protein bar every morning, and then wash it down with a beer, nice cold one. No, I'm just kidding. It's bubbly water. I live off of these. This one's I get these at Trader Joe's. They have pineapple flavors that they only have in the summer. It's a seasonal thing. But the other brands, I haven't seen them in a while. Waterloo makes a pineapple one. Bubbly makes a pineapple one. And yeah, I haven't seen those ones. Usually, whether we're there or we're Trader Joe's only carries their own brand. But if you go to Target, Save Mart, where else do I normally go where I find those? Whole Foods carries Waterloo. I haven't seen their pineapple ones in many months, actually. My favorite, though, is the ginger lime. Anyway, here I'm talking about, I meant to talk about crypto. You know, I'm just talking about my morning nutrition regimen. Now that on top of all my other supplements I take, some of it I take with me. This is Histoaid. This stuff for allergies seems like my wife has been taking this too. It's pretty amazing stuff. It's a high quality liquid form of vitamin C. What else is in here? Sodium, quercetin. I can't read. I started just last year. I'm 46, which I've probably said too much, but 46. I've had 20/20 eyesight up until a year ago. It's just starting to decline a little bit, and I'm farsighted. And I got glasses last year, but didn't really feel the need to wear them too much at first, but more and more. It's really just like this past month. It's funny. I turned 46 now I'm like realizing more and more it's like really helpful for me to wear my glasses. So anyhow, yeah, the Hista Aid, I'm taking Lion's Mane, and then Hydroxo B12. B12 comes in like 5 different forms. And I found that I'm really sensitive to it, but also the blood tests show that I'm low on B12. So I have to find the right form and then take it and just like a little bit at a time. Make sure I'm not doing too much at once. And then another one that I take that I'm not going to pull out right now, but it has green coffee bean extract in it. As opposed to drinking coffee, I find that the stuff, it helps keep me alert, and it doesn't like spin me out or make me really tired or anything like that. There's no side effects to it for me, but I'm a sensitive boy when it comes to those things. So I gotta, everyone's different, you know. We're all like snowflakes. We're all special little snowflakes, and we have special needs. Oh yes, but cryptocurrency. Are you ever going to talk about that, Robin? Bitcoin passed its all-time high yesterday, and everything's great, right? Everything's great. We can rejoice. We can be certain that everything's great. What else is there to talk about? No. Surely you jest. You jest, Robin. You jest. I am a jester. I am a clown. Great. Bitcoin's doing great. I'm glad that I'm invested in crypto, but meanwhile, the rest of the economy looks like it's about to explode into flames and go crashing down. The bond market looks bad. The stock market, probably because of the bond market and a number of other things, has gone down a bit, which it's noteworthy that Bitcoin seems to have decoupled. So far, it's showing signs that it still is decoupling from the stock market, which is a good thing for sure. Let's hope it stays that way. The fact that Bitcoin reached all-time highs while the stock market is declining is a good thing for Bitcoin and crypto. I mean, I just I worry every day we wake up and it seems more and more like we are headed into a recession, and not just a recession. This could be something more than just a recession. As Trump's trade wars have, speaking of decoupling, potentially we've crossed the line, we've crossed the Rubicon that we're not going to be able to go back on, in that the trade between the United States and mainly China, but other countries as well, has decoupled. And other countries now are realizing that they can no longer rely on the United States on a number of levels, and they're decoupling from us and finding new trade partners, new avenues of trade. And China has been preparing for that for years, or maybe even decades. It's a complex story. The story of the growth of the Chinese economy and the changing of it from a rural agrarian state that it was 40, 50 years ago into the economic, technological powerhouse that it is today. There's really a lot to be said about that. Watched an interesting interview this week. The guy's name was Tim McGee, who was on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart Monday night. worth a watch. He just came out with a book about, it's called Apple in China. Apple as in the company, and how they, which, like, understandably at the time, because of, I mean, this, we are where we are today economically with the way international business is, because of our own policies from 50 years ago, where, I mean, it was a conscious decision as a country to offshore all of our industry, starting in the late 1970s, really early 80s. And it's really, it's just the way that capitalism, American capitalism, has worked. And it's no fault, I mean, it's just the way that our system works. International companies want, in order to grow their shares, in order to grow their product, look for the cheapest labor that they can find, the cheapest parts they can find internationally. And so in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, more and more, everything was offshore to China, Vietnam, Bangladesh, Singapore, Southeast Asia, you name it. And billions upon billions of dollars, and that's what this guy talks about, is how by the time, the onset of the iPhone and the years to follow, Apple, over certain periods, was investing $55 billion a year into the Chinese economy, basically, to bolster manufacturing of their products there. And a lot of that money was spent on training workers in Apple at all levels, not just like manufacturing plants, but in engineering and business, and everything around that, to run their facilities there. And that investment led to the springing up of competing corporations within the Chinese economy. And so they really dumped a lot of money in investing into, I mean, one of the points that he brings up is how under the Biden administration, I believe it was the CHIPS Act, that was like $50 billion over 2 years that was going to invest in industry in the United States, to bring up the competitiveness of our homegrown technological industries and manufacturing here. But that's half of what just Apple was investing in China at the time. And it was hailed as such a big deal here, but I mean, it's really pales in comparison to what American companies have been investing into the Chinese economy. So it's no wonder that we are where we are, and the fact that the Trump administration is just blatantly going to continue with what I don't understand. I mean, I guess I understand it. It's just it seems it seems so stupid after everything that's happened, and the fact that none of this is working, what the Trump administration has set out to do and what Trump has set out to do. The fact that he's still holding steady with this idea that we're going to continue on with tariffs, and if other countries aren't going to negotiate with us, which he's kind of only like half admitting, not really admitting that, here we were supposed to have 100 deals in 100 days or whatever, and we've had kind of 2, I guess, but it hasn't really been all that transparent. Maybe it has, and you could dig around and find more information on it, but after all of that talk and all of the negative backlash that has come from it, verbally and just by looking at the markets, why haven't we just completely turned around? I mean, I know why. I mean, I could offer reasons as to why. Why haven't we completely just done a 180 and said, hey, you know what, this tariffs thing is not working. Let's talk about free trade deals, or just, you know, lowering the tariffs way lower, you know, like 3% or whatever, to lower than they were. Let's open up trade, and also let's like seriously look at addressing the U.S. deficit and the issues that we have there, because that's the other half of why we just got our credit rating downgraded by Moody's. And I mean, it's a real problem. And for all of the Republicans who now and for years and decades have been saying that they're fiscal conservatives and our spending is out of control. I mean, they were screaming about that during the Biden administration. And Trump comes in and Musk comes in and says that they need to slash our spending and get our debt under control. And now the big beautiful bill that passed through Congress, or through the House, I guess, yesterday, and was signed off on and is heading to the Senate, only does more to, I mean, keep taxes low, gives more tax breaks, I guess more so to the wealthy and the corporations, and solidifies tax breaks that were already there from the last Trump term, and that Biden kept as well, to be fair, and increases spending, makes cuts to Medicaid and Social Security, I guess. I need to go back and read up on this and find out exactly where everything landed, so, you know, don't completely quote me on that, but that's from the sounds of it. And you know, it's going to add more to the deficit, and we're just going to talk about raising the debt ceiling, which we're going to have to do, I guess, in the next month or two again. So investors and the stock market, businesses in other countries see all of this, and it doesn't give anyone warm and fuzzy feelings about where the United States is headed as a whole. And meanwhile, other countries are starting to go in different directions, and the world is starting to go in different directions. And, you know, all in all, what does this mean? I mean, to me, I think it's just the decline of the U.S. empire. And maybe we were already headed that direction, but Trump has come along and really sped that up. So, you know, whether you like him or not, on a bunch of different fronts, and yeah, you could get into that. I'm not going to on this channel, but I mean, as far as economic policy goes, whether people are admitting it or not, even those who voted for him, I've talked to, who are intelligent people that voted for Trump, and, you know, for whatever, from my perspective, they were misguided, and didn't expect him to do some of these things that he's done, and I didn't really even expect him to do some of these things that he's done, at least not to this level. I mean, he talked about tariffs during the campaign, but I don't think anyone expected quite this. But people that I've talked to who voted for him that have admitted that they kind of regret voting for him now. Not that they necessarily would have voted for Kamala Harris, but I don't think anyone expected this. And, you know, here we are. What can you say? So, all that having been said, yeah, the crypto market's looking good. I think the bull run's on. I mean, Bitcoin's probably approaching 112,000 right now as we speak. And who knows, we'll see where Bitcoin goes to. And then, you know, maybe as people look to escape the stock market and the other markets, at this point, money's going to start pouring into cryptocurrency. As maybe people will see that as their one potential exit. That, gold and silver.
maybe international stocks. I don't know if those are going to be immune from much of this. I mean, unless you're looking at specific corporations in China. It was a BYD, the electric car company that no one here in the States has heard of, but sells more cars worldwide than Tesla does. So I've got my portfolio. I'm just sitting there being patient. I'm mostly in mid and small caps at this point, which are up still 50% over where I was a month ago, but have been fairly flat over the past week, while all the attention has been on Bitcoin. I'd expect once Bitcoin pauses its run up, I mean, ETH and XRP and Solana and SUI are probably good places to put money right now before those really start to take off. I mean, I think they're up like 5% over the past day or two, but you know, if things go somewhat as expected, as much as you can expect anything, those will probably see some gains next, and then, you know, you go down the rungs to the mid caps, small caps. We'll see. I'm just waiting for an actual altcoin season. And again, which I would recommend. I've planned out, you know, I've got maybe 12 different alts that I've got varying percentages of my portfolio invested in, and for each one of those, I took a few hours and I mapped out, okay, this one's at 5 cents now, at such and such market cap, you know, and I've got so much of it. When it gets to 9 cents, I'm probably going to sell, you know, 10%, take a few profits, leave the rest. And then when it gets to 19 cents or whatever, I'm going to sell, you know, maybe another 20% of what's left, or 30%, depending on, and then, you know, and planning that all out, and hoping that some of those coins will, you know, some of them will move faster than others, and I can take some profits, start taking some profits. Got to start taking profits. After all the mistakes, I mean, we can look back to last year and what happened in December all the way up to January 19th before Trump got into office, and what looked like an unstoppable bull run at the time, and then followed by a crash. And you know, most of us just did a round trip on our investments there, because I'm still down from the peak. I'm down from the peak where it was, like, you know, December, January. I'm still down 60% from where it was. So we've got, yes, things are making a comeback, but we've got some ground to cover still. So I'm gonna head into work. Everybody have a great day. And man, interesting times we live in, which is a curse, but they are interesting. Ta-ta for now.